Converted Man here. I must be bored because I'm doing another live thing today. Okay, I found this video. Now I could make a video response to it and point out all the logical fallacies and count them up, or I could do this live thing. I'm going to do the live thing. All right. Write down, here's this, how do we know God exists? VCS 808920. Whatever the hell. What the Virtual Combined Sunday School. Our youth minister, Matt Crossman, teaches on how do we know God exists. Blah. Here's the colonial cosmological argument, which I've already debunked. Leben's contingency argument, I think I've done that one. And the fin tuning of the universe. So the fin tuning. I haven't heard of that one. I've heard of fine tuning. You forgot your E. You forgot your E in fine tuning. Whoops. Anyways, so I think I pretty much debunked that. I don't remember this one. It's probably something it's something dumb. I don't know. I'll look at it at some point, maybe. All right. Why is it that when I'm live, I start coughing? Write down, so get past the intro and all that other yada, yada, yada. We get to Mark, not Mark as in the Bible. We get to the time index of 254, where it has this on the screen. Write down something that's caused. Okay, well, I can't do that because there isn't anything that's caused. That is to say, I don't know what the bleep you mean by that. Like, there's a huge problem with this, okay? So, what do you mean by caused? All right, well, I could assume what you mean. But I don't want to do that. And so what am I supposed to do? Just, look up any random definition of cause and use that one? How about you tell us what you think caused is? All right. So anyways, but he's going to be very, I don't know what we want to call it, but he's going to talk, and I guess he's talking to class. I don't know. So this is something you've asked the class to do, something impossible right now. Let's hear what you have to say, though.
Something that is caused. Let me give you an example. You're going to see this example a lot in this series. Here's mine. It's a pizza. What caused the pizza to exist? Somebody want to take?
Okay, so what caused the pizza to exist? Well, first of all, let's teach some logic, shall we? When you say questions have premises embedded in them, which means to ask a question, you are implicitly stating that what is inside the question has to be true in order for the question to be answered. So if I say what caused the pizza, then I'm assuming that there was a cause to the pizza. So how does he put it? What caused the pizza? How does he say it? Let me make sure.
Here's mine. It's a pizza.
It's a pizza.
What caused the pizza to exist?
Okay, so what caused the pizza to exist? Okay, by pizza, you mean a particular type of pizza in this case, or do you mean the universal concept of pizza? I'm assuming you mean a particular type of pizza, in this case, the pizza that you're showing us. Now, at what point has it become a pizza would be a good question. Is it a pizza when I knead the dough, when I roll it out? Is it a pizza, once I put on the cheese and the sauce? Is it a pizza when I put on all the toppings? Is it a pizza when I'm cooking it? Is it a pizza once it's cooked and pulled out of the oven? At what point does it become a pizza? And that's very important for me to hope to answer what caused the pizza. Because depending on when it becomes a pizza, then that depends on when it was actually caused. So if it wasn't a pizza before I started to cook it, then then the cooking of it caused it to be a pizza. If it's only a pizza when you put the toppings on it, then you could have, well, what amount of toppings, or which toppings in particular? Does it have to have toppings for it to be a pizza? I mean, what if you're gonna use this analogy to do this, there's some vital critical questions that you're leaving out that you should be encouraging your audience to ask those questions. But the problem is, of course, you don't want them asking critical questions or doing any critical thinking. You want them to learn how to do really bad apologetics. Hey, people in chat. Yes, Scarmania. Hey, how's it going? Thinbox, they just want to sin. You just want to sin. Yeah, that's it. I just want to sin in my pizza. So, what caused the pizza to exist? Well, I don't know, because you'd have to tell me when it's a pizza. Yeah, sure. Right. Okay, so now that you've asked your loaded question that assumes a cause to the pizza, and additionally assumes that I know what you mean by causing the pizza, let's see what else you have to say.
You want to take a stab at it? Who made it? Yes, sir, in the back, Logan.
Okay, now you said who made it. That is assuming that there's a who involved. What if it was a machine that made it? Then there isn't a who involved. The machine made it. Now, maybe somebody made the machine, but if a machine is making a pizza, then the answer is no who made it. The machine made it. And you could say, well, but a person made the machine. Yes, but the answer to the question would still be that the machine did it, not the person. So you're assuming that a person made this pizza, and we don't know that that's the case. And you're asking somebody, okay, and I'm guessing in the virtual classroom that you're in the back, but why would you say that? That doesn't... Okay, anyways.
Pizza delivery guy. Well, he's the one.
Yeah, the pizza delivery guy made the pizza. Not on his paycheck.
Who brought it to your house, but who made it?
Who made it? You're still assuming that somebody made it. What if a machine made it? Okay, whatever.
The pizza maker. That's
the pizza maker. Oh, the pizza maker made the pizza. Wow. Brilliant. Okay, but because you're asked when did it begin to exist, which also could actually, that particular pizza there, yes, but not pizza in general, because you could also answer the question by going way back to the first pizza. Who made that? I don't know. I'd have to look up history to find that out. Man, this is a hard question. But we don't want to introduce critical thinking into our classroom here. That would be bad for the Christians. I'm assuming they're Christians. We don't know which God they're talking about yet. Could be the God of pizza. I'm going to bet that it's Christian God, given that they're saying the Kalam and the whatever Lesbos contingency argument and the fin tuning of the universe. Yes, the fin tuning of the universe, ladies and gentlemen. The fin tuning of the universe.
Hey there, adult Sunday school people. If you don't...
Oops, I fast forwarded. Oh, no, I reversed it. Oops. Okay, I just wanted to magnify. The fin tuning of the universe. Okay. Anyways. Okay, so where was I? So the pizza. Where were we? Let's see. So pizzas exist, and pizza makers exist. Therefore, God exists, right? I mean,
different things out there.
I guess.
But yes, the cause is the pizza maker. The caused is the pizza. So let's think of something that was caused. Maybe it's your pen.
Okay, so using your loose and vague definition of caused, which really hasn't been defined, so you've now gone to a pen. Well, we have to ask different questions about the pen. When does it become a pen? Because that answer will then inform my answer to the question. Is it a pen when you put the ink in it, or when you put the ballpoint in it, or when you screw it together? What kind of pen are we talking about? A fountain pen that looks like a ballpoint pen. And by the way, pens are usually assembled by robots, I think, by now. Well, I could be wrong. I mean, there's some, I'm sure, that are still made by hand, but the majority of the process is done by machines. So some of it might be human. So how would you really say that? You'd say a human and a machine caused it to come into being when they finally finished assembling it, I guess. But again, we're doing critical thinking here, and we don't need to do that.
The pen is caused by
the pen maker. The factory.
The chair that you're sitting on was caused by somebody who made the chair.
Yeah.
You were caused by your parents. Don't think about that too hard.
Yeah, that's just that. In other words, don't think about sex. Well, look, your parents had sex to make you. In the loosest sense of cause, I guess that works. Okay. Ha 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 ha. Ha 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 ha.
Listening to this later on YouTube.
Yeah.
Naika's like, well.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm guessing that this is a picture of his family, and one of these kids was probably not caused. If they're the parents and these are their kids, I'm going to go on a limb and say that one of them wasn't caused by this particular group of people, unless there was some really weird genetics going on. I mean, I'm not going to say it's impossible, but I'm going to think that one of those kids is probably adopted. Just no real reason. Anyways.
Not exactly.
Ha 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 ha. Anyway, moving on. Yeah, all right.
Good. If you haven't got something yet.
Yeah, so you're supposed to write down something that's caused. All right.
Throw them away.
I'm going to write down that, technically speaking, nothing was really caused, because everything has a chain event that comes before it, and that goes on endlessly until you have the singularity, and then before that, we don't even know if there is a before, and saying before doesn't make sense. So I'm going to write down nothing. That's my answer to this. Nothing has been caused. Everything has a chain of events leading to it that chains off from another chain of events. Therefore, nothing has ever been caused. Therefore, the only thing I could write down is the word nothing. So there you go. That's my answer to his question. Let's see how well that plays out.
Wand them up. Don't make a little paper airplane out of it.
Yeah, okay.
Hold on to it. Now, the
all
next
right.
thing I want you guys to think about is this. Why is it important to know God exists? Why is it important to know that? Because a lot of times I think Christians come to this conclusion, well, I just believe that he exists.
Yeah, actually, okay, they finally said Christian, so it's the Christian God. What's funny about this is where apologetics goes off track, because they pretend to know what you can't know. You can't know that God exists. You can only believe that God exists. But it depends what you mean by know, and it depends on what you mean by believe. But actually, this is anti-biblical. Not that I care about theology that much, but I would think that the Christians would care about theology. The Bible repeatedly encourages belief and faith. So, let's see. Who's my guy? Thomas. Doubting Thomas. Let's go to that. Let's see. All right. Let's find that. All right. Let's get this off my screen and share a different screen. All right. Here we go. So this is what? John 20:24-29. Hey, this is to answer when I last read the Bible from that debate that I had a while back now. Just now is the answer. Now, Thomas, also known as whatever the fuck that name is, one of the 12, was not with the disciples when Jesus came. Jesus came. Ha. So the other disciples told him, "We've seen the Lord." Yeah, right, you did. And he said, "Unless I see the nail marks in his hands," which wouldn't be where the nails go, because if you put nails in the hands, then the person would fall off of the cross. Or, well, if it's an X, they might not fall. Well, no, they'd still fall off the X. You can't kill somebody by putting nails in their hands. It has to be the wrists. So this is a mistranslation. Anyways, that doesn't matter. And put my fingers where the nails were. Ew. And put my hand into his side. I will not believe. Ew. Gross. I mean, it's all sticky in there. A week later, wow, a whole week went by. It's like, I'm not going to believe you guys unless I, can verify it. Yeah, what a skeptic. He's not skeptical enough for my taste. So a week later, his disciples were in the house again. What house? His house, I guess? Thomas was with them. What house? I don't know. Whatever. Through the doors, though the doors were locked, Jesus came and stood among them and said, "Peace be with you." So I'm guessing, like, Jesus just walked through the door? Like, they were just chilling there all week long. And then Jesus just like, "Hi, here I am." Like, "Oh, the doors were locked. How'd you get in? The chimney? Did you come down the chimney, Jesus? How did you get..." The window was open, guys. Oh, the back door was open. Yeah. Jesus can just walk through solid matter now. That's apparently a power he has. I guess. I don't know. I could be wrong. I'm inferring a lot. Anyways, whatever. Then he said to Thomas, "Put your finger here. See my hands?" You mean wrists. "Put your hand out and put it into my side. Stop doubting and believe." Believe, he says. See that word, believe? He doesn't say, "Stop doubting, here's the proof and evidence that you've been asking for." He says, "Believe." Okay? All right? Then he says, "My Lord and God." Yeah. And then Jesus says, "Because you have seen me," you have empirical evidence of me, "you have believed. Blessed are those who have not seen and yet believed." And some translations have this, that you're more blessed if you haven't seen and yet believe. Okay. So right there, you've got at least one example where belief is more important than empirical verification. And now my hypothesis is that Thomas didn't exist, and neither did probably almost all the disciples, if any existed at all. I don't even know at this point, but this is made up to be able to insert this into the writing, to be able to say, well, yeah, you see and you believe, but the people that don't get to see and yet believe, they're really super blessed. That's why I think that this is in here. It's to encourage people that don't get to see it and believe that they're super blessed now because they believe. That's why it's in there, I think. But anyways, that's a belief, not a knowledge. And Jesus is saying it's better to believe than to know. But meanwhile, false prophet over here doesn't care about the Bible, I guess. And he's saying it's better to know that God exists. Well, if God wanted us to know it existed, then it would just be there. We would just see it all the time. We wouldn't need apologetics. It would be like the sun in the sky. Anyways. Okay, here we go with the bald. This is a this is what's known in logic as a bald claim. Okay, I'm pretty sure. Let's see. Logical fallacy. Let me make sure I'm right here. Or is it an empty assertion? Let's see. Bald claim. There we go. I've got it. I've got this shit, man. I know. I know. Let's see. Where is it? I know there's a fallacy called something like this, and I don't remember what it is. Let's see. Bald assertion without ambiguous insertion. Appeal to. Let's see. No. Bald assertion fallacy. Is that the name? Yeah, that's it. See, I was on the right track. I mean, okay, look, here's the screen, just to know that I know what the hell I'm doing. So let's see. Bare assertion fallacy. I call it bald assertion. Bald assertion, bare assertion. Either way. So the what the fuck is this guy? The bare assertion fallacy. The fallacy makes no attempts to use logic to justify the conclusion and is argued for by authority. Well, it doesn't have to be argued for by authority. You assert that it's true. For example, if you're in the army, there's situations there's no time for the debate. Your commanding officer simply tells you if you challenge the assertion, you're likely to be shouted at or worse. It's true because I told you it's true. Yeah, essentially. So, this is deductive logic argument or formal argument. So, it's claim statement A, the claims that X isn't lying, therefore he is true kind of thing. So, yeah, it's basically, here we have the assertion that the following is going to be true. And why is the following true? Well, because he said it was true. That's why. So, for no other reason, the following is true. This is just asserted as being true, this statement. And this is couched as a hypothetical statement. So, if X is true, then Z is true. But we're being told that this is the case. So it's two logical fallacies wrapped in one. Because we have first the bald assertion, bare assertion, if you want. I'm going to keep calling it bald assertion. I've been calling it that forever. That's what I want to call it, damn it. It says that somewhere. I don't know where. Anyways, whatever. It says bare assertion, whatever. We're being told that this is true. Then we're being given a hypothetical. If X, then Z. In this case, if X is true, then bad thing is true. And this is a different fallacy. So this is the appeal to consequence fallacy. Not consensus, consequence. Man, I wish I could spell. There we go. Not Wikipedia. Nope. We're not going to pull up Wikipedia. Okay, here we go. That's fine. We'll use this website. Okay, that one's fine. All right. Well, that was weird. So I'm back. That was yeah, that was a thing that happened. I guess God doesn't want me to do this broadcast. You're not stopping me, God. Not happening. I've got history. I can pull up what I just had. You know, you're not stopping me, devil, or whatever the hell. You know, I don't know. Where the hell is the video though? How do we know? There we go. Here we go. Okay, where were we? Let's see. Where's this damn thing? There we go. Okay, so I got everything back. Here we go. Appeal to consequence. That's what I was trying to pull up before I was rudely interrupted by my internet. Yeah. So here we go. The appeal to consequence. Argument ad consequentum. Also known as appeal to consequence of a belief, blah, blah, argument to the consequence, argument from the consequence, appeal to consequence. Anyways, so concluding an idea or proposition is true or false because the consequent of it being true or false are desirable or undesirable. The fallacy lies in the fact that the desirability is not related to the truth value of the idea or proposition. So it can come in two forms, positive and negative. X is true because if people did not accept X as being true, then there would be negative consequences. X is false because if people did not accept it as being false, there would be negative consequences. X is true because accepting X is true has positive consequences. X is false because accepting it's false has positive consequences. So here, we're being given the statement that if God, so if X, is not true, then this terrible, horrible consequence will be true. So if there's no God, then the rest follows. There's no purpose. We're a cosmic accident. And when we die, it's going to have no effect on the universe. And that's the negative consequence of X being false. So to recap, two logical fallacies in one. We have this bare assertion and a appeal to consequences. But let me dig in deeper. Let me dig in deeper. There might be no purpose to existence. Maybe that's true. So what? We're a cosmic accident. Also, so what? Then the last part is false. When we die, there'll be no effect on the universe. That's actually not the case. Because you have some energy inside of you. Your molecules and atoms and quarks and whatever the bleep is going on, all of that, when you perish, will return to the immediate surrounding and to the universe eventually. That's going to make a small impact on the local and whole of the universe. Maybe not one you could measure, possibly, maybe on a scientific level, maybe be really hard to measure it, but it's going to do some sort of effect. I don't know if it's going to help with entropy or not. I have no idea, but it is going to have an effect. So that last bit there is simply not true. And when something is not true, I've come up with my own fallacy. That's right. You might not find this in books of fallacies. You might. I don't know. But I call it the fractal error. I've also called it the outright lie. The reason I call it an outright lie is, well, you don't know that you're lying, but what you said is so not true that it's just a lie. It's fractal error also works. It's wrong in every possible way that it could be wrong. In other words, it's just not true. What he said here at the last bit is a lie. It's not true that when you die, even without a God, that death would have no impact on the universe. That just denies physics and, other things that we know to be true about the universe. So you have 3. Now you could say, well, maybe you don't want to view a lie as a logical fallacy. That's fine. So you have 2 to 3 logical fallacies here, depending on whether or not you view lying or a statement that's not true as being a fallacy. I view it that way. You could say it's there's another there's another term for it. I can't think of it now. But at any rate, so it's 2 to 3 fallacies in one. Man. All right. Let's go back to the video now. See how many more come along. Actually, let me put this in. The universe doesn't care about you, even if there is a God, because the universe isn't an entity, you nitwit. Yeah, lovely. Appeal to existential. Wait. Can I say appeal to existential dread? I mean, okay, that would be an appeal to emotion. Actually, what he just did there is let that existential dread kick in. Ooh. If this isn't true, now he's doubling down on the appeal to consequence. But now he's also appealing to your emotions. Man, think about it. If that's not true, then oh man, nothing matters. Isn't that terrible? So it's got to be true. So now we've got at least 3 fallacies, if not 4, depending on your count. Yeah, it did. It did. So what? That is correct. Correct. Yeah, basically. You know, I doesn't that say a lot for the theist mindset? Oh, you're just this random thing that came together. Yeah, we are a random thing that came together, but not in the way that you're making it out. The reason I am not a cat rather than a human is not just cosmic accident. It's because of biology and physics and nature. Now, I've gotten philosophical from time to time and thought, why am I me rather than someone else or something else? Well, I could have been a cat or a different person, but the consciousness that arose in this particular brain could not have arisen in a different brain. So it could never have been this if this brain had not been. And I would never have been if I hadn't been. So it's a wonder and it's a mystery and it's a lovely thing. And I suppose you could call it a miracle, although I wouldn't. But just say it's an accident. I mean, kind of, but it's glossing over so many details of the wonders of how biology functions to say that. Anyways, that's just me though. Back to your appeals to consequence. Oh, it's not on. Oh, damn it. Sorry. Oh, God. I forgot to click the share audio. I'm sorry. I'll rewind a little bit so you can hear what the stupid idiot said.
Accident that will die with no effect on the universe. The universe neither cares one lick about your existence if there is no God. Just let that settle in. Let that existential dread just kind of boil down into your soul for a second there. Because here's the thing. If all that exists is this universe and it just popped into being on its own by some great cosmic accident, that universe cares nothing for your existence. That means that you are a cosmic accident and you are just a random conglomeration of atoms that just happen to come together in the form that they are right now. And when that conglomeration of atoms falls apart after you die, the universe will not care one lick that happened.
Correct. Even
Right.
true if
And
if
it's
the
gone.
that's right. And so what?
If God does exist, then there is a purpose to your existence.
Okay, so this is the other side of the appeal to consequence. This is the positive consequence. And also, I would dare say this is another bare assertion because you haven't shown that it's true. But all you're doing is doing another appeal to consequence, just in a positive way rather than a negative way. So if God does exist, then there's a purpose for your existence, and you were made in a goal in mind. Now, before he continues, I will show you the dark side of this, because let's grant, tentatively speaking, that he's correct. There is a God, and it's the Christian God. And so the proposed purpose of existence is to get to know that Christian God and believe in Jesus for the forgiveness of sins so that you are saved and go to heaven. If you do not believe that particular thing, then you do not get to go to heaven. So, if you believe anything else, you're screwed. If you don't believe, now, of course, it goes even further with different denominations of Christianity. Some make claims that it's not good enough just to believe. You have to profess it in public. Some say that's not enough, that you have to say it in a certain way for it to count. Some say that that's not enough. You have to be baptized in a certain way and understand that, or it doesn't count. Some say you have to speak in the tongues, or it doesn't count. Every denomination has its own well, not every, but many denominations have exclusive claims that it has to be such and such way. So which one of those is right? Because if you're wrong, then you're not going to heaven. So, what was the point of your purpose if you aren't gonna get to do the thing that God supposedly made you to do? And the purpose, supposedly, the purpose-driven life, that's a book that's a Christian book, I remember. I don't remember what the hell it was about, but this is probably stupid. I don't remember. But anyways, I remember it being a big deal at some point. The purpose of the Christian life is to find, then believe in, and then worship God and Jesus and maybe the Holy Spirit. That's your purpose. So if you don't do that, if you screw that up somehow, then you die, then you are purposeless, which means God made a whole bunch of humans without purpose. They that existed before Jesus came and died and weren't in Jerusalem, so they couldn't be Jews. What was their purpose? Didn't they just expire and die, or did they go to hell? Or did, the Bible doesn't say. The Bible doesn't say what happens to the non-Jews. It's almost like it ignores everybody that's not a Jew in the early Bible. In the Torah, the only thing there isn't any heaven, by the way, mentioned in the Torah at all. You're not told about what happens after death. Not a thing. That doesn't come in. That's not there. Go on, try to find heaven in the Old Testament. You might have heard of Abraham's bosom. This is a Jewish belief, but it's not found in the Torah. You're gonna have to find it in, I think it's the Talmud or rabbi teachings or something like that. I don't know, but it's just not in there. So you weren't guaranteed anything about what happened after you died with the Torah. In the New Testament, the bit that the Christians added on to make up stuff about the Old Testament, which they call the Old because they didn't want to call it the Torah anymore. They took out some stuff out of the Torah that they didn't like and replaced it with some other stuff that they did like and decided that was probably good for canon. And, some anonymous people that we don't know about and voted on what was going to be canon in behind closed doors, and we don't know how they decided what was and wasn't canon. But at any rate, the Bible that we have today undergone some changes that may or may not really matter. It depends on your salvation. We're only toying with your soul. But anyways, I'm sure that the important parts made it in. But if you believe this, then you have to believe that all the people before Jesus came were made with no purpose. The people that didn't know God directly, that weren't Jewish, also had no purpose. The people that were alive during Jesus' time but did not know about Jesus, they could have even lived in the same town where Jesus was walking around preaching, and they might have missed him. And they wouldn't have known anything about him, his story, and they might have died before that story was spread. They too were without purpose. That's not counting the billions or millions or however many people were around that time all over the earth that could not have hoped to know about Jesus. And then all the years that went by until the message was slowly spread throughout the world by word of mouth, mind you, for the most part, that there was this Jesus character. All those lives were made with no purpose. That's the dark side of Christianity. That millions upon millions, perhaps billions of people, all created with zero purpose, because God picked this stupid system where he appeared to one part of the world and told them the secret password to get into heaven. No one else got to know about it until way later. And then those that heard about it and didn't believe it, they're also screwed. And so millions upon millions of people and billions more died because the system that God made was an imperfect system. And even today, the last Pew research that I saw had it at about 33% of the world believes in Christianity. So everyone else that's ever died had no purpose because they didn't do the right God. There you go. Billions upon billions of people, all without purpose. What a stupid God you serve. So there's the dark side of Christianity. Anyways, I wonder what he has to say about any of that. Oh, wait, he's not going to talk about that? We're going to ignore all those people? Of course we are. Anyways, let's just focus on our God and pretend that nobody else believes in a different God or anything else. Let's not ask those questions. Yeah, let's just pretend we have a purpose for our existence, and that purpose is to worship this particular God. That's what it's about. You're made to worship this God. Wow, what a narcissistic God. Why does God need you to exist exactly and to worship it? I don't know. But anyways,
you were
that's
made
your purpose.
with a goal in mind. That there is a reason for us being here. So the idea of knowing whether or not God exists is extremely important. Even if you're not a Christian.
But if you're not a Christian, fuck you, right? I mean, you're screwed. Anyways.
First, before we get any farther, we have to answer the question, what do we mean by God?
That's a good question. Wow. Yeah, let's find out.
Now that seems kind of strange, doesn't it? Like, well, what do you mean? What do you mean by God? Well, let's go back to the pizza.
Oh, God.
If I were to tell you it is a good thing to eat the best pizza, How many guys
What?
would agree? It's good to eat the best pizza. Now,
Well, depends. Like, is the best pizza good for you? Like, would it be the most nutritious one? Would it be the one that's right for my diet? Would it be? What do you mean by good? Wait, no, don't go back to the video. I'm not the.
what constitutes the best pizza? Somebody give me your best pizza.
I have no idea what the bleep
What?
you're talking about.
Oh, Sal's pizza. I thought you said
Yeah.
salad pizza. I'm like,
Yeah,
ugh.
yeah, salad pizza. It's probably
You want to eat
better
a salad?
for you.
Eat a salad. Don't mess up a pizza by putting a salad on it. My goodness. that
Yeah,
sounds
yeah.
awful.
Get to your
Any
point.
old Sal's pizza?
Yeah, yeah,
At
whatever.
Rockstar.
Yeah,
Sir,
whatever.
what is pizza?
Yeah, whatever.
That does not sound weird. Italian. I like
All right,
pineapple.
pineapple.
Place. Have a different idea. And when we use a term like God, a lot of times people have different ideas of what that means. Give you an example. So the Mormon Church believes in God and Jesus. However, they don't believe in God the same way that most Christians do.
And so they're all doomed to hell and have no purpose. Thanks for watching. Stupid Mormons. Anyways.
They believe that God is an ascended mortal being from another solar system.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, I kind of like that about the Mormons. Actually, this is something they don't want you to know, like all this stuff. But of course, all the stuff that they don't want you to know is available online, so there's no way out of it. If the Mormon thing is true and you work hard enough, you become a god of your own, like, universe. And I'm like, well, that's cool. I'll just go back in time, come to this universe, and say hi to myself. I didn't do that. Therefore, I must not have worked hard enough in the Mormon belief to get to that point. So therefore, I don't see the point in being a Mormon. Anyways, yeah.
He became an all-powerful God, well, not all-powerful, a powerful God over this planet. And that if you are an extra good Mormon, you too can become a god over your own planet.
No, it's their own universe. Get it right.
We both use
well,
the
maybe
word
he's right. I don't know.
God, but we don't believe in the same God. So we have to define.
Yeah, and so they're screwed and you're not. Got it. Okay.
Find what God actually is. Here is the Christian definition.
Well, no, this isn't the Christian definition because there's no such thing as the Christian definition. Let's get that straight. This is your idea. Like, there's no consensus on this that I know of. Like, how many Christians agree with this? I don't know. Not all of them. They're going to have different ideas. So even Christians have different ideas of what God is. Just, so this is, again, another just assertion that he's making. So this is his assertion about what he thinks God is, as far as I know. Maybe he got this list from somewhere. Where did the list come from? How do you know this? This is the list. Anyways, God is the uncreated. Okay, so we already have the special pleading about God taken care of. Which goes back to his first question. Write down something that was created. God. God was created by humans. There you go. Immaterial, whatever the hell that means. Basically, immaterial. The only thing that well, there's abstract ideas. That's immaterial. Like, is that what you mean? So God's just imaginary? Yeah, that sounds right. Timeless, which means that there is no when that it can do anything. If you don't have time, now, do you mean atemporal? Do you mean it doesn't have time? What do you mean by timeless? Okay, spaceless, so there's no where for it to be. All powerful. How could it? What does power mean? What do you mean by that? Where does it get that power from? How is it all powerful? What does that mean? How does that work? All knowing. How does it know everything? How does that work? Does it know something that is impossible to know? Can it know what it's like to be wrong? Can it know what it's like to not know anything? Morally perfect. How do you know that it's morally perfect? What are God's morals? What is God's ethical system? And then it's the creator of the universe. Just, because, it didn't have to be, but it is, just because. So that's what you mean by God. Great. Wonderful. Lovely. How do we know that what you said is true? That would be my question that you'll never answer.
Creator of the... Now, how many of you guys already knew that?
How many people knew that? Well, let's see. How many people in my audience knew this list was the list he was going to use? Well, probably nobody knew this. How do you know this? Man, I wish I was in this class. How do you know that any of these things is true? So this is, I believe, the appeal to definition. The definition of God is this. How do you know that that's the case? No answer. This is just what God is. God is these following things. And that's what God is. Well, but how did you deduce that that's what... Because God's these things. It's like the thirst quencher. It's got hydrolytes. Why does it have hydrolytes? Because it's got what plants crave. Why do plants crave it? Because it's got hydrolytes or whatever, right? It's that level of stupidity.
A few of you. Okay. Oh, that's good. I'm glad.
Yeah,
so
they just lied.
Maybe you knew some of those things.
Uh-huh.
But as a Christian, if you say God, this is actually what you mean when you say, I believe in God. I believe that he is uncreated, which means nothing else created him. Nothing came before him. Nothing made him. He was always there. Immaterial. He is not made of matter.
Yeah, what does that mean? How does that work? I have more... What is it like to not be made out of matter? So, does God have a brain? Is a better way to put this. This should have been my debate. I should have had this as my debate. God doesn't have a brain because a brain is made out of matter. Therefore, God is brainless. There's no way to argue against that.
Okay? He's not made up of atoms. He's
Right.
not made up of energy.
So, again, that sounds an awful like something that doesn't exist.
He doesn't follow the laws of E equals MC squared.
He doesn't follow the laws of E equals MC squared? Wow. Okay, so your God's incoherent as well. All right.
He is timeless. He is not bound by time.
What does
We
that
live
mean?
in a four-dimensional, non-Euclidean space-time continuum. However, he does not. That's a fancy thing I learned in physics class back in high school.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
He is spaceless.
Which means there's...
The beginning has no end.
Right. No, but that's not what spaceless means. It means there's nowhere for it to be. There is no... That just... It's another way to say it doesn't exist, basically.
He is all-powerful. Take all the energy in the universe. If you could take all the energy in the universe, it would be nothing to God.
Right. But then it rested on the seventh day because... Why? Why would God need to rest then? If but the one thing God can't do is just show itself to us. And I think I proved pretty damn well in my debate that I had that God can't even bother to lift a lobster off of my hand and levitate it for a few seconds. So God's not able or willing to do all the things, apparently. Also, it can't forgive sins unless you believe in Jesus. So God isn't all-powerful. Your God is not all-powerful. It has limits. It also would have logical limits unless you want to propose an illogical God, which pretty much you're already doing, but this is all logically omnipotent. It's not all omnipotent because it can't do paradoxes. It can't stop existing, for example. So God can't die. That's another thing God can't do. God can't, God can't stop being God. God can't do evil, apparently. So there's many things. Yeah, does God know what it is to do evil? There's another conflict with the all-knowing part. Does God know what it is to sin? Does it know what it's like to be in hell? Does it know what it's like to be the devil? If you believe it, does it know what it's like to be an angel? Does it know what it's like to die? I mean, how would it? Does it just?
He's all-knowing. He knows everything. He is morally perfect.
Yeah,
That
so you
means
say.
he's perfectly good.
Okay, I just, just for fun. Just for fun. And, I'm going to have to remember to do the audio now. Let's just find something that I think is, important about God's so-called morality. Remember what he said? He said that his God is morally perfect. That's what he said. So let's look at the Bible, because that's where we learn about God, his God from, right? Well, let's just see what the Bible says here. So, John 3:8-3-11, and the scribes and the Pharisees brought unto him a woman taken in adultery, and when he sent her in the midst, let's see, come on. They said to him, Master, this woman is taken in adultery in the very act. And Moses, the law, commanded us that should be stoned to death. Okay. Here's Deuteronomy. Here we go. 21:18 to 21:21. Okay. I hate how they 21:18, 18 to 21, whatever. If a man has a stubborn and rebellious son, doesn't talk about daughters. Forget daughters. Doesn't matter. If a man has a rebellious son, which will not obey the voice of his father or the voice of his mother, and that when they chastised him, he will not hearken unto them, then his father and mother lay hold on him and bring him to the elders of the city and unto the gates of the palace, and they shall say to the elders of our city, our son is stubborn and rebellious. He will not obey our voice. He is a glutton and a drunkard. Even if he's not a glutton and drunkard, I guess you're supposed to say that part anyway. Or maybe that's like, is it the rebellion, or is he being rebellious because he's a glutton and drunkard? I don't know. Like, exactly. It doesn't really clarify this. But that's what you're supposed to say. So anyways, and they shall say to the elders, he's a glutton and drunkard. Then all the men of the city shall stone him with stones, that he die. So shalt thou put evil away from among you, and Israel shall hear and fear. Leviticus 20:13. If a man also lie with mankind as he lieth with woman, both of them have committed an abomination, there surely will be put to death, their blood shall be upon them. Now, this is from King James, which is not a good translation, but it's good enough. Anyways, they have to die. Okay, let's see. Exodus 31:15. 6 days you can work, and 7th day is the Sabbath. Whoever does any work on the Sabbath day, you have to die. Acts, and they stoned Stephen, calling upon God, saying, Lord Jesus, receive my spirit. Oh, I guess Stephen got stoned. I don't know if God was for it or against it this time, but, it's just, they stoned him to death. And then he was like, hey, don't hold this against him, he said as he died. And then he fell asleep, which means he died. But whatever. Anyway, so that's the moral God that we're all talking about. Isn't that nice? Isn't that nice of God to just ask people to get stoned to death? That's a morally good being, isn't it? Everybody gets stoned to death, and you'll get some stoning. It's like the Oprah of stoning to death. Of course, the Christians will say, but that was the Old Testament. Oh, really? Yeah, okay. It doesn't apply. But then you have Matthew 5:18, where Jesus says, "For most certainly I tell you, until heaven and earth pass away, not even the smallest letter or one tiny pen stroke shall pass away from the law until all things are accomplished." So the law is still in place. Now, some people say that when Jesus died, then that means that he did away with the laws, but it doesn't. He didn't say that that's when the laws go away, did he? But that's there's some more apologetics, I suppose, you could do, and you have to do. But how in the hell do you justify that God was cool with stoning to death, or the whole slavery thing? That's all morally perfect. That's fine. All the people that died that died not knowing Jesus, that are just without purpose, that's morally perfect too. Yeah. Your God's not looking morally perfect to me, but I guess I don't know what morally perfect is. Anyways, back to the video.
Made the heavens.
Oops.
He created. Now, where do I get that? Well, I'll give you a few Bible verses here.
Yeah, I don't care. Skip. Here's the Bible that says the things that I'm claiming that God does. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Come on, get to another part I can comment on. Oh my God. Here we go. Here we go with the stupid. Bring on the stupid. Hold on. Does God know what it is to sniff cocaine from the belly of a dancer? Yeah. Well, it must know that. If it's God. Anyways. Existent thing equals pizza. The cause equals pizza maker. This is probably the stupidest thing I've seen in a while. And I've been on the internet a while, so I don't know. This is definitely the stupid thing. But okay.
Cause of the pizza maker. So I want you to turn to the person
but what's
right or your left or somebody.
Wait, what's the cause of the pizza maker? Come on, I know you're gonna do it. Wait, is the audio on? Let's make sure. Share audio. Blah 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 blah. Okay. Yeah, the pizza maker. Man, this guy. Why did you pick a derpy guy? Anyways, whatever.
And without spitting on.
Yeah. Now remember, way back when, I wrote down. I didn't actually write it down. I'll type it. That'll be close enough. My answer to this question was nothing. Nothing's ever been caused because everything has a causal chain that leads back until some point when we start knowing about how things work, and then we don't know what the hell's going on. So nothing. That's my answer. Let's see if that works for him. But then my other answer is God. God was caused by humans because God was an invention of humans. So that's my answer. Let's see if that fits in his little apologetics.
I want you to tell them what you wrote down, what that thing is, and what its cause is. Go now. You tell a couple.
Okay, I'm going to tell all my chat here. Hey, chat, I wrote down the word nothing. Nothing caused it because nothing's ever been caused because the word idea of caused isn't really a thing because it doesn't make any logical sense or scientific sense or any sort of sense that I can make sense of it. And he wasn't really, even though he appealed to analogy, which is another logical fallacy, he appealed to analogy to get us to try to write down something that's caused like the pizza and also people. Okay, my answer is nothing / God. That's what I wrote down. Everybody hear me? I'm not whispering. Everybody hear me? Okay, great. Back to the video.
Couple people figure out what it is. Make sure you understand what the thing is and what the cause is.
It's poop. I wrote down poop, and the cause is my bowel movement.
All right, shouldn't take too long. Let's quiet down. I need a couple of people. I want you to tell me what your neighbor's thing was. And
it was poop. My neighbor wrote down poop. Come on, tell me somebody didn't write down poop. Come on.
What the cause was. Yes. Okay, so the thing is her mom, and the cause is her grandma and grandpa.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. All
Woo!
right, that is
Yeah. Okay. Skip.
cause. All right.
Hold on. Wait.
Okay, so the thing is the world, and God is the cause.
Wrong. Hold on. I've got something for this. I've got something for this. Hold on. Let's see. I do have something for it, but I mean, is it really worth it? It's kind of not. I'm gonna do it anyway. I'm gonna find the damn thing. Where the hell is it? Where is it? Where is it? Is it in background noise? No, it's music and sounds. Yes. Let's see. There it is. I found the thing. Hold on. This will totally be worth it, I swear. It's totally not going to be worth it. Share screen. Hold on. Application window. That's not it. That's not it. There it is. All right. There it is. All right. Here we go. All right. Don't know if you'll be able to hear the sound on this. There you go. Yeah. See, he's saying wrong at that person. So I don't know if you could hear it, but that's what this is. So no, the cause of the earth is not God. At least not directly. And this is why believing in this case in God is maybe a bad thing. And yeah, that could be an appeal to consequence, perhaps. Yeah, okay, we didn't hear the sound from. Damn it. Well, whatever. He sings wrong. Anyways, it's just there. Yeah. Wrong. You're wrong. Anyways, all right. If this had been a video that I was editing, I would have edited that clip in there. But instead, you get this hour-long... Oh, my God, I've been doing this for an hour. This hour-long deconstruction of this stupid video that also doesn't have... It has, like, what 4, 5 fallacies, at least? Maybe more? I don't know. I forgot that I was supposed to be keeping count. There's been a number of ball searches, tons of appeals to consequences. And then analogies. Well, I mean, argument to analogy isn't always fallacious. So he doesn't use a false analogy. Well, he kind of did. At least one outright lie. So I mean, yeah, he's got a lot of fallacies. Anyways, but yeah, no, God didn't make the earth. The earth was made over time by basically gravity. So no to that. And, so here's this person, whoever answered this, sounded like a girl to me. I don't know. But here's this poor kid that thinks that the world was made by God. Like, that's all that it took. Isn't that sad? I mean, even if there's a God, you could maybe say, well, God made the universe. But why not stop the kid? No. God didn't make the earth. Earth was not directly at any rate. But you have to believe that God made the earth in some way, because that's in Genesis, right? I mean, it's there, but that's not how our planet or any other planet was formed, was by gravity. So instead of telling the real truth about that, he's just going to let this slide because it's more important that people think God exists, I guess. And maybe I'm wrong. Let's see. Who wants to take some bets? I'm taking all bets that the apologist will not correct the kid that the world was made by God. Taking all bets. World was made by God. Taking all bets. World was made by God. Apologist corrects the girl. Anyone? No one wants to bet on it. I'm giving 1,000,000 to 1 odds. The apologist will correct the girl on this. That the world wasn't really okay.
All right, so the thing is the world, and God is the cause. All right? Yes.
And did he correct her or him or whoever?
Okay, so you have songs or the created thing.
No, he did not. He did not. He didn't. Of course he didn't. Why would he? My luck. Listen. When what is this? 19-minute video and 19-minute and 25 video can actually, it's less than that. It's less than that it takes this guy, Bill Wirtz, to explain how the world actually came together. So we'll just skip to that part because, let's see. When do we get to the Earth? Here we go. Okay, so let's see. All right. No. Shit. No.
Hello,
What
my
happened? I've lost control of YouTube.
Try to stick together because the world is going to get bigger and emptier. But it's not empty yet. It's still very full and about 1 jillion degrees. Great news, the quarks are now happily married in groups of 3 called a proton or a neutron. And there's something else flying around too that wants to join in but can't because it's still too... Great news, the protons and neutrons are now happily married to each other. Some of them even doubled up.
Yeah.
Great news, the electrons have now joined in. Congratulations, the world is now a bunch of gas in space.
See, so there you go. He's explaining the world. Here we go. So at 1:24, he starts to explain how the world actually came together. It's just a bunch of gas and stuff.
But it's getting closer together.
And then gravity.
And it's getting closer
More
together.
gravity.
And it's getting closer together.
More gravity. It's a star.
New shit just...
Now, you have to have a star first. That's important. Because the star makes all the elements and stuff. So first the star is made. And then a whole bunch of shit got made because of the star. So, if you have Vic or MPV, you can open it in it. What? In what? I don't know what the hell you're talking about. I don't know what I'm sorry. I don't understand what you said. So anyways, oh, that's nice. What? I don't even know how to deal with what you just said. Like, I mean, what? How? What? There's no evidence that it cannot exist? Like, what does that mean? You want evidence that something can't exist, or you want evidence that it what are you saying? Please clarify that statement and try again. Anyway, so you need a star, right? And then you need the star to make a bunch of shit. And then after that, you need the space dust, and then you need more shit to happen. And then you need stuff to gather together, and then those, way crazier space dust, you need that. And then you have this thing called the sun, and then then planets can form by little bits and particles left from, other explosions of stars.
Stars have cool stuff around them, like rocks, ice, and funny clouds, which can make some very interesting things.
Yeah, so the rocks and ice and funny clouds eventually, because of gravity, will become planets. So that's how the Earth got made. Now, maybe you want to say God was behind all of that, but let's just not make it dumbed down and be like, oh, the Earth was made by God. Because that misses all the science stuff that happened for real that we can actually know about, okay? So, look, if you haven't watched it, watch the history of the world, I guess. And if you have watched it, then watch it again, because he covers it. And you know what? I covered it too. I did the same thing on my channel. used to be, it's the entire history of the world, I guess, by creationists. So my version, nice thumbnail. My version, totally didn't choose that for any reason. My version of, wait, hold on. What was I telling? Anyways, shit. Anyways,
Like this ball of flaming rocks, for example.
what was I don't know anymore. So yeah, it's a lot more complex than the Earth is made by God, But of course, for the apologist, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because you can just dumb it down to where the answer to everything is God. Who made math? God did. How does math work? God. How do I drive car? God. It's just at that level of stupidity. But it's not even that. I'm worried that the kids in this audience that he's talking to, these teenagers, aren't going to look into science to discover how the hell it actually was made because they already have their answer. So why would they look for an answer when they already think they have it? So it just really worries me that might be the thing that happens. Anyways, where were we? Let's see. Where were we? Okay, so he's still talking about things that were caused, which we already went over. And all that nonsense. Share audio. Let's not forget to do that. Okay, so music is made by the guy that wrote the music or the gal that wrote the music, I guess. Old / young Earth. Well, now I've got my two theists that sometimes watch my stuff in chat. So let's try to stay on topic of this particular video, although either of you are more than welcome to talk to me if you want. I mean, I can stop analyzing this video and talk to you guys instead. I mean, that'd be fine. If you want, we could do that. I've talked to the Trinity solution before. What the bleep's the video name? I know because I know you by your actual name, not the YouTube name. But I know that I have a video where I talk to you. Talking. Let's see. Who is it? Is it Robert or is it the other one? Oh God, I don't remember. Grape Nuts. Yeah, Grape Nuts, right. So I think that's Robert then, was it? No. I don't remember. No, it is. Robert Treperino, isn't it? Or am I thinking is it? Yeah. Okay, so I've talked to you before. Anyways, I want to finish eating this video because I've been eating it for like an hour and I'm not quite done eating it, but I mean, I've never actually had Jesse on here. That'd be cool to talk to them. But I mean, yeah, I'm never going to pronounce that last name right. I say Camperino. You said that was wrong. I was like, whatever, it's good enough. Anyway, so who did the music? The music creator, right? Now see, this is the thing. Like about music, there's certain. This is actually something we could study too. That there isn't an infinite amount of different music we could make that we like. And even though there's like a bazillion different notes that we could play, there isn't an infinite amount of music that would be produced that humans like because our ears need to hear certain sounds in a certain way. So there's actually a finite amount of different songs that you could make. And I think somebody calculated it once. It's a lot. Don't get me wrong, it's a lot, but it's not infinite. And I thought, oh, that's interesting. But of course, nothing is saying that we won't evolve to where we would like other types of music. But by then, I don't know if we would keep calling ourselves humans, like at some point, like the Neanderthals, and we're Homo sapiens, like at some point we'll be something else, like as a species. Although goodness knows how many million years that's gonna, like, we're already evolving right now. It's just we can't notice it. So I don't know. I don't know. Anyways, might as well finish it. Okay.
Very good. All right, I'll take one more. Yes.
Wait, I'm gonna make sure the audio's on. Yeah, hold on.
Going on.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a Nike hat. What are you going to do, right?
Mm.
Things and causes. This is going to be very important because tonight what I'm going to teach you guys is a philosophical argument for the existence of God.
That's bad.
That sounds real fancy.
Yeah.
Not as much as you might think. But I do want to emphasize this is just one of many arguments that
And that's interesting to me. By the way, the fact that you have an argument and that you don't have anything other than an argument to offer your students, that says a lot. And I've said this before. If you accept all causality, you have to accept the absolute. No, you don't, because it's not that simple. Like anything else in reality, it's just not that simple. I had a talk with a dude that's actually studying to be a PhD as a cosmologist. Let's find his thingy so I can link that. Let me link that real quick. Let's see. No. Where is it? Platonic realm. There we go. That's the video. So here's my talk with the Platonic realm is what his channel is called, but he also calls it, well, he goes by physically debunked, but his channel name is Platonic Realm. It's really confusing, but anyways, there's the video. And I asked him, oh, you did see that? Yeah. So it's not causality. We get to a point where we don't know. And we also find that causality isn't always necessarily a thing at all. So it doesn't follow, because we run into this realm of the unknown, and we have to just say we can't infer things about the unknown because it's unknown. If physics, as we understand it, break down, then different physics, or maybe no physics, who knows, are present, and then who knows what that's like. So it might be that causality is still there, or it might not be. I don't know. You don't know either. We don't know, broadly speaking. It's a mystery. And so this argument that he's going to present us doesn't work because of that. But as I was going to say about arguments, it can never be evidence in and of themselves. And there's a very simple analogy I'll illustrate with this. If I go to the bank and I say, hey, I have $1 million, the bank teller is going to say, well, present to me your card, your ID, your account. They're going to want that information, right? So they can pull up my bank account. If I said, well, listen, I have the sort of account that doesn't need any empirical evidence. My account is the sort of account that exists simply by its necessity. It is the greatest account that could ever be. And it has to exist, and it must exist for reality to make sense. If it doesn't exist, reality doesn't make sense. Therefore, my account exists. And I have $1 million in this account. You don't need my ID because the account is there. I just want the $1 million. Is the bank teller going to give me the $1 million? No, they aren't. If I continue to make different arguments that I should have this $1 million, will they ever give me $1 million unless I prove that I have $1 million? No. No argument would be sufficient. They need evidence. If arguments were evidence, then I could go to the bank and get $1 million, because believe me, I could make an argument that sounded pretty damn good. But the bank tellers, for some reason, just won't give me the $1 million. And they might even think that I'm robbing the bank at some point if I keep insisting that they give me $1 million, which the bank wouldn't have that much money anyways, but that's a moot point. But I just find it kind of telling that apologists have arguments rather than evidence. We have evidence of the pizza. We have evidence of the pizza maker. So we don't need an argument for those things, do we? We can actually verify that they exist wholly and solely apart from the argument. But all he's going to have is this broken argument that we've heard a bazillion times. Here we go.
You can look at for why we believe God exists, why we know God exists.
You don't know, you believe.
So the fancy name for this argument is called the Kalam cosmological argument.
Okay, I'm done. Nope. I refuse. I refuse. I refuse. I'm not doing this. No. 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 I've already done this. And I'm not doing it again. I've already deconstructed this, so I just refuse. I refuse to do it again. I'm not. No. Here's the link to the Kalam. Here you go. Hit enter in chat. There it is. There's my link to the video that I did on it. It's actually pretty damn short as my videos, as far as my videos go. So, you know, oh god, just so loud. Why am I so loud? So there's my video. Look, I even wrote on my I got this dry erase board just for this. Well, no, I got it for this book that I was going to analyze. So I wrote badly on this thing, and I go over the fallacies. Yeah, I do all that. So I'm not covering it again. All right. Oh god, I lost the video link again. Okay, so the Kalam cosmological argument is broken both philosophically, logically, and scientifically. What else did he have besides bad arguments? Let's see. Where was I? There we go. I lost his thing. Oh, jeez. Oh, bleep. Where are we? Yeah, skipping the Kalam. Skipping the Kalam. Skip. Okay, let's see. Here we go. How do we know God exists? And by the way, again, I got to say, there's a difference between knowledge and belief. And I think that it's theologically unsound to teach knowledge, because if God wanted you to know that it existed, it would just be like manifest in a way that we could all see it all the time and we could hear it and whatever, right? Like it clearly doesn't want us to know, otherwise we would know. You believe God exists. I know that people like to go, but I know that God exists. No, you believe. You cannot know that this is true. You can believe it's true. And maybe you want to argue what the word know means and all that, and that's natural language, so I guess you could do that. But anyways. Oopsie. What happened? Oh. No, you don't. Yes, it can. Yeah, I don't care. Skip. Come on, are you going to give us a different argument? No. You don't know that. Wait, how can you have intelligence without having a brain? Because God is immaterial, thus it doesn't have a brain. God is literally brainless, but it has intelligence. How can it have intelligence? Show me an example of something that doesn't have a brain and has intelligence, other than Donald Trump. Okay, you know. um, yeah, exactly. Thank you. You can't have intelligence without a brain. Just ask any atheist rock. Exactly. That reminds me of the next video thing I should do. I should do a thing about that. I was thinking about it, but Platonian understanding of reality, something like the Big Bang, you won't because it's ridiculous. Yeah, oh well, you know. Listen. Here's the thing. Don't tell me what I think and feel, and I won't tell you what you think and feel. Can we make that a deal? Can we, please? Because I'm never going to tell you what you think and feel, Jesse. And so I would ask that you do the same with me. All right? Because this is an example of what I call special knowledge or mind reading. You would have to be able to read my mind or have special knowledge to be able to know what my reasoning is. Okay? And I'm giving you my reasoning for this particular video at any rate. By the way, I'm not saying that there's no God. I'm just saying that this particular video does a horrible job of explaining anything because of its amount of logical fallacies. What were we up to 8 now? I think I lost count, to be honest, but it's up there. We've had bare assertions or bald assertions. We've had well, there was at least one half truth. We had something that was complete, total not true. We've had appeals to consequences. And then we have the Kalam. That adds a bunch of fallacies on top of whatever else he already did. So this is not a good argument that he is making. That's the purpose of what I do on my stuff, is to point out the bad arguments. You're free to come up with a good argument. I'd love to hear it. Haven't heard one yet about God, but maybe somebody will make it. This guy isn't, but maybe you will. Anyways, you can. It's a bit like Voltron, yes. Anyways, let's debate it. The Trinity wants to debate the thing. Maybe. I don't know who you want to debate. Look, let's stick on the video here, okay? You guys can work out a debate. If you guys want to debate and you want to use my channel, you both email me and I'll totally have you both on and you guys can debate each other and I'll moderate it and it will be awesome. And I based on what I know about you wouldn't okay, well, we'll get into that. Okay, well, almost done with this video. Let me finish. I'm almost done. Almost there. Okay, here we go. Yeah, well, kind of, but this isn't the only way to do it. Like, this is one version of the scientific method. We don't know where he got this from, and guaranteed there is absolutely nothing that tells us where he got this from in his links, because the only things that he links to are the bad arguments that he's using in this video. So we don't know where he got this chart from. That's a problem. Okay. There are multiple different scientific methods. This is just one of them. But here's the thing. What has this got to do with anything? Because you can't apply science to God. That's what I've been told at any rate. Yes, you need to be able to repeat experiments to show that they're valid. But there are some certain things that you don't necessarily need to do that. It depends on what you're talking about. So what is he complaining about with this? I don't know. I think I missed something. Let me go back. That's nice. There you go. He said it. He said it for me. God is not a scientific law. So there you go. No idea why you're going to tell us what you think the scientific method is if God isn't science or a scientific law. It's not something you could use science on or whatever. Okay. But with other intelligent beings, we can do science on them. Why can't we do science on this intelligent being? You have to have a special pleading in place in order for this to follow. Your God, for whatever reason, cannot be examined like any other intelligent being can. You could you could do all sorts of experiments on me. Not I might not want you to, but you could, and they do. When I go into the doctor, they get my blood. They send that blood to get various different tests done on it. That's doing experiments on me in a way. You could go and get paid to do drug studies where you're risking, whatever they tell you the effects might be in order to get the money, but you're also forwarding a bit of humanity because your risk is to benefit the rest of us. And usually when people are really hard up for money is when they go do these studies, but nonetheless, you can get pretty good pay by being a lab rat, so to speak. I went to go do one, but I chickened out because it said that you could get that it produced in lab rats, it produced blindness, glaucoma, I believe, or if I'm recalling it right. And I was too scared of that. I was like, no, I don't want to risk my eyesight. Like if it was something else, maybe, but not that. Anyways, back to the video. Uh-huh. Yeah. Kinda. Sort of. Why not? Yeah, and see, that's a problem too, because the claim of, well, depending on who you ask, but and I don't think he said it in this video of what if God is always the same or not. But I've heard people say that God's always the same. So if God doesn't change, then that means we could devise a test. But basically, this is him admitting that you can't test God. And I find that to be a big problem. Oh, it wasn't audioed. God, alpha turkey beta beginning punk. All right. So, anyways, scientific method, blah. Let me get back where he says God's not a scientific thing.
A scientific law like gravity. I can measure results.
Hold on.
But God interacts with our universe. Yes, I do. And I think he does things in this universe. But the thing is that God is not a scientific law like gravity. I can measure results of God. Maybe I can see some things that he's done, but they're not going to be consistently repeatable because God isn't some law to be defined necessarily. He is an intelligent being. So typically in scientific process, you need to come up with a theory. It is you need a machine that you can drop in enough quarters. Okay? It doesn't work like that. God's not a vending machine that you can drop in enough quarters and get exactly the same result every time. Every time. Okay? God doesn't work like that.
Why not?
Nor do we want him to. I don't want a God robot. God robot, I'm going to
speak for yourself.
Prayers, so answer my prayer. Yes, person. Like, it's not God.
Can't test God.
How it works.
Right.
Plus,
why not?
we believe in things that we don't get consistent results on all the time.
Do you?
I need a guinea pig. I mean, a volunteer. I'm going to take one of the older ones. No offense, guys in the back. All right, Noah, you're brave. All right. No, I said you do it from your seat. Okay. we're going to prove that you have intelligence.
What?
Okay? What is 2 plus 2?
Well, if you ask the postmodernist, they'll probably tell you 5 at this point.
What is the square root of 56,360,253?
Well, I can tell you what it isn't. It isn't 0. It isn't a negative number. It isn't a number lower than the amount that you just said. See, I don't know what the answer is, but I do know what the answer isn't.
See, the results are inconsistent, so he has no intelligence.
That's not only is that not a test of anything. Oh man. If something is inconsistent, that's not a proof. What? Oh my god. So your hypothesis was just because it's inconsistent, that doesn't mean anything, or that does, yeah, but jeez, you can test a human though. You can test intelligence though, and not knowing an answer doesn't. Oh man, the problem is, and here's the other thing: the guy is actually giving you answers. Okay, every time I ask God anything, you know what answer I get? Nothing. Hey God, what's 2 plus 2? Did you hear an answer? I didn't. So why? And that is consistent. Every time I ask God any question, I get 0 response that is audible. I can't hear it, nor could I record it at all. So that's consistent, at least. The thing is, I think that this is one huge excuse of why prayers fail to function the way that you might think that they should work. Even though the Bible says that if 2 or more people are gathered in Jesus' name, then anything they ask will be given unto them. So this is just one big excuse of why God is basically a giant 8-ball. Anyways.
Necessarily have repeatable results. How many of you guys have people in your life that you love? Prove it.
Okay, there's multiple ways to prove that I love somebody. Do you really want me to do this? Because I could. There are many, many, many ways to prove that I love somebody, you nitwit that doesn't understand logic, that also doesn't have a good argument. Him being in it was irrelevant to his argument. Okay, number 1, the time I spend with them. Now, why would I spend time with somebody I don't love? There could be some reasons. Maybe I want something from them. You could make some excuses for it. Okay, but the time I spend with them is a pretty dang good indication. If I tell them I love them, that's a pretty good indication. If I demonstrate that I love them by doing things for them, that's a pretty good indication. But what we could do now, what we could do, not that we would do it, but we could get my brain. What we could do is there's sensors that they put on your head that can measure your brain waves. And then they could show me a bunch of pictures of things that I don't like and things that I said that I like. And then they could record the reaction that my brain produces. They could also do an MRI on me, and they could see what parts of the brain light up and which parts don't light up. And then they could use all that data to infer what I like. Therefore, the reaction of what I love would be stronger, and probably might be in the same area, might be in a different area, but they could deduce that from the data. And then you simply bring in the person that I said that I love, and then that part of my brain will light up, or the spikes on the chart will go wild, or whatever. There you go. There is a scientific way to absolutely prove love. But of course, you don't want us to think about that test, do you? No. You don't want us to think that there's a way to prove love, do you? Because if we can do that, Well, then, why isn't there proof of God? And besides, if we don't need to prove it, then what was your whole argument about in the first place? Yes, I did have a guy that said God is zero. That was a whole thing. Like, he didn't really mean it, but, like, I don't know. It was weird. Let me pull up that video for you if you really want. No, I'm looking on the internet. I'm not looking on my own stuff. Whoopsie. Zero. There we are. Here we are. Let's see. Here we go. There's that video on the God is Zero guy. And there's the link for that. Okay, almost done. We can prove love. What's your point?
Consistently. Yeah. I can't do that. Ask my wife. Hey, I'm pretty good, but I'm not perfect. I'm not going to pretend like I'm perfect. So we believe in things that don't have consistent results. We also believe that God...
It's not the same thing. And so this is an appeal to a broken ass analogy, but whatever. And even if it's the case that we believe in some things that have inconsistent results, doesn't necessarily mean therefore we should believe in this thing that has inconsistent results.
Doesn't necessarily have limits. Now, I had a question a minute ago. Did I answer it, or do you still have a question? Okay, go for it. Go for it. Mm-hmm.
That was funny.
I would say that you are partially correct. That you could have measured
That was
God
kind of
through
funny.
Jesus, but Jesus, and I apologize, I keep messing with this ear thing. It's not sitting on my ear right. Jesus was God in the flesh, and
All right, which doesn't make God. Jesus is all God and all human, and it doesn't make any damn sense if you try to think about it or reason about it. But it doesn't have to. It's theology. It's not supposed to make sense.
so at that point, while Jesus was fully God and fully man,
See?
he was in some ways different, I guess would be the best way to describe it. This is one of those mysteries. But
Yeah. I mean, you'd be 200% a thing. How would, and then like, whatever.
you're right. We could see God in many ways that we would not be able to have seen him before. And that's one of the great things about God. And we're going to talk about that next week. Also, thank you for the preview. I appreciate it.
Okay, so back to the kalam at the end, and that's it. So that's the end of the video. Okay, thank goodness I'm through with that. Oh my word. What a bad... It's just that he's teaching the kalam to all these teenagers and young kids and whatever. It just hurts me, because it's like, this is a broken argument. I don't know, to be honest. I don't think that there is a good argument for God. But I can tell you what isn't a good argument. The Kalam. Maybe there's a better one. Maybe you will be the first one to make one. I tried to when I was a theist. Of course, I found that I couldn't do it, but I still tried. Anyways. Yeah. You're not supposed to eat lobsters. Didn't you read The Lobsterist? Anyways. So, let's see. Could you prove your love for a particular person by being first to choose which one loves and which one doesn't? I don't know. I mean, it is unfair, but you could ask the question, of course, and then in the real situation, who knows? So what's Sophie's choice or whatever. You have to ultimately, you have to make some sort of, calculation, and it's it's hard, but emotions aren't necessarily bound to the rules of logic. In fact, I dare say that emotions rarely care about logic. But at the base level of our emotions is a logical underpinning of chemicals and neurons in our brain. And if you knew which neurons to light up and which chemicals to give somebody, and you could give them that and light up the parts that you needed to, you could make them love you, hypothetically speaking. Of course, we don't do those sort of experiments on humans, at least not that's what the CIA told me, so I'm pretty sure that's true. Right, FBI that's listening to me right now? We don't, but you could. Because our brain is the center of us. Our being, such as we know it, is our brain. And the mysteries of that are pretty amazing. But you don't find out the answers by pretending a different answer that isn't. You're going to have to use the methodology of science to deduce it and to study it. But God supposedly is not a scientific thing. This is like what the whole debate came to at the end, in the debate that I had, and really in all the debates about God, is that the theist typically, not always, but the theist will say that God is in a different category that cannot be verified by the scientific method. Then how do you know it's a category? That's this sort of question that goes unresolved. Yeah, love potions for sale. Well, it wouldn't be as simple as something you could drink. I mean, you're talking, genetic level or something. You're talking major chemical. Well, you could give somebody something that caused a dopamine kick, maybe. I don't know how success. He'd be like, here, drink this whenever I'm around. You'd have to be sneaky with it. Let's see if this will work. Hold on. Okay, here we go. Good old lobster. We can know without any debate that this thing is here. Now, I have to tell you about it. It's made out of plastic. It was 3D printed. Its little thing here is missing, and I lost one of its legs here. And it's not an actual lobster. It's just a representation of what lobsters look like. And they're not red unless you boil them. They're green. But you and I know what lobsters look like. So when we see this, our brain says lobster. This, in this hand, is God. Lobster, God. Lobster, God. You can't demonstrate God. Whatever God is, it's not a lobster. And that's the best sort of answer I've gotten as far as, but that's not my question. My question was how do you know this thing is a thing? If this lobster decided, if it levitated off of my hand right now, that would be pretty darn amazing. We'd all be, I'd probably pass out. I don't know. It would be something that none of us has ever seen. Is that a miracle? I don't know. I guess we might call it that because we have no other word for it, but wouldn't that be an appeal to ignorance? Just because we don't know why it's levitating or how, does that make it a miracle? Or is it simply unknown? And even if it did float off of my hand, which would be, again, amazing, could we conclude anything about it without further study? I say no. If my door, if that opens, it would scare the hell out of me because it's locked. I checked it. And I'm going to assume that a person did it because people can do that. But if no one is there, then I'm going to probably think, well, maybe it was an animal. If I see no animal, I might think it was the wind. But if the wind, how could the wind blow open my door? Because it opens outwards, not inwards. So, but everything I think about would be a natural thing. But if I ran out of ideas, could I say a ghost did it? No. Why? I don't have an example of a ghost. How do I know that a ghost is a thing, let alone that a ghost can open a door? Because that's two claims I'm making about a ghost that I haven't even demonstrated is a thing in the first place. And if the only thing I could do is offer some philosophical argument for a ghost, maybe the place that the ghost exists is in my brain and in your brain and in our brain. And maybe that's the only place that it exists. And maybe that's okay because it's still interesting. We can still tell stories about it, but we don't have to say that it is real. We can just have it as an idea. We don't even have to believe that it's real either, because it can still be useful without that belief. And maybe God, too, is that sort of thing. Maybe not. I don't know. But I don't have any proof of God, and apparently you can't have proof of God, not in the same way that you can for the lobster. You can't test God, apparently. So that leaves you only with a valid and sound argument, which we didn't have here. There's too many logical fallacies in this particular guy's argument to let us be not skeptical of it. So we have to be skeptical of his conclusion. Does that mean there's no God? No. It just means that this argument sucked. Let's see what else is out there. And maybe we'll find the argument that doesn't suck. But right now, we got to be skeptical. Cool. If you want to set up a talk with me or with anyone else, and you want to use my channel to do a debate or whatever, let me know. My email is deconvertedman1@gmail.com. deconvertedman1@gmail.com. Boom, in chat, there it is. Boom. Okay, you can email me. If you want to talk about stuff, you can email me. If you want to set up a thing, we'll do it on YouTube, we'll do it live, or we might even do it in private, depending on how I feel. Not that I want to see anything necessarily. But at any rate, until next time, keep thinking, keep being skeptical. I mean, obviously you want to keep thinking, because if you're not thinking, well, you might be asleep. So that's it. I'm done. I'm done now. So you're welcome. If you liked this video, leave a comment on the actual video. I see all of you. Okay. If I don't see your name, comment on this when it's an actual video. I'm sending the lobsters. That's an appeal to consequence, and it's also what's called an ad ballium, which is an appeal to the stick, appeal to the cudgel. It's a threat. Okay, I am threatening you with lobsters if you don't do the thing I want you to do. Anyways, thanks for watching. That was a good one. Yeah. What do we do now? End the video. Huh? What? End the video.